Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello. Whoa. A little too loud. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I want to take a look at just about half a dozen issues of a comic created by one of the great comic creators, great artists, and about 60 years ago, starting with Magnus Robot Fighter. This issue here, these are all pretty rough. This is a 12 center, so this is, I think this was 65. Gold Key, some cool Gold Key science fiction / superhero adventure with a cool cover painting. I think is this. I'm not sure whether this is Mo Golub or George Wilson cover, but I'm leaning towards George Wilson, but I can't be positive. They all had great cover paintings. And of course, Magnus Robot Fighter was created, both written and drawn by Russ Manning. And then later in the 60s, he left that behind when he left Gold Key to do, because he moved over to doing the Tarzan comic books, and then was hired away from Gold Key to do the Tarzan comic strip. But he was great for, you got the primitive and the science fiction, and he did other science fiction stuff too. And he was great at both. Of course, later, just shortly before his death, he was doing the then brand new Star Wars newspaper strip. And that's cool. And you can see, give you a little example here of some of his artwork if you're not familiar with him. He did some great stuff. And then when, and of course, Magnus Robot Fighter, of course, is 4000 AD, and he was to fight the evil robots for who would go crazy, or robots being used by evil geniuses to try to take over the city of North Am. Of course, North Am was North America, and it's an entire city. And with skyscrapers so high, people seldom went down to the ground. Everything was in the buildings. Then, what issue was that? That was issue number 9. And we jump ahead a few years, and I think they changed the publishing schedule, because this is issue this is 1969, issue number 26. And this is, I got this when I was little, and I really loved it. And this is the same copy. He even wrote my name, and I was learning cursive. And I love this cover. And this is definitely a George Wilson cover. But this one was not drawn, I don't know who the writer was, but it was not drawn by Russ Manning. Because after Russ Manning left Gold Key, Paul Norris did Magnus Robot Fighter for a while, and through the 70s and stuff, well, late 60s and through the 70s, with the exception of occasional a few new stories, they were mostly just printing the stuff again from the 60s by Russ Manning. But this was Paul Norris. He was imitating Russ Manning's style, but he also took over the Tarzan comic for several years. That's some good stuff. I really like this. And this one actually has two Magnus stories in it. and then a backup of the aliens, about humans' first contact with an alien species and their adventures together. Then we go to and that was a 15-cent cover price. Then we go to number 32 from 72. There's that one, and I have 2 copies of this particular issue, one better than the other. And this, of course, but this is back to Russ Manning. So this was a reprint. This is 72. So this would have been a reprint from earlier in the 60s, unless, well, yeah, because it says so. Because it said so right there. Someone's trying to call me. Because it says, yeah, older stuff on there. Then we go to this. That was a 15-cent. This goes to a 25-center. And still Russ Manning. This was issue number 37. Then that's a 25-center. There's another 25-center, and I think this one is also Russ Manning. Reprint from a Russ Manning story. And then we come to the last one of this because it's only a half dozen. This is back to. That's great cover. Oh, great painted covers. This is from 77, number 46. And Paul Norris, again, illustrated story. Oh, and I just love, I've got more, but this is what I come from. And I didn't feel like digging deeper for more. But I just love Magnus Robot Fighter. I hated what Valiant did with him, and I guess Acclaim and some, I know very little about the others. I hated what Valiant did with Magnus. But so that's all I've got for this time. So please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Give me do you like Magnus? What era of Magnus do you like? Which publisher? It's got to be Gold Key, of course. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.